have a laptop set up for the chat, and I've got WhatsApp ready to go for when you send a link.
Okay, amazing. Do you want me to go on?
Yeah, man, go on.
Cool. So I'm just gonna click yes to YouTube.
Yeah, and then just send a link, and I will release it in my broadcast.
Okay, I see you. And there you go, sir.
Let's that's that. And then I want to go down. There we go.
Brilliant.
Amazing. Let me reload the page. Sending good vibes from Bulgaria. Absolutely you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely you are. Kazi, welcome to the stream, buddy. Logan, welcome to the stream. How's it going? How are you all? My beautiful people. We're just going to let people flood in, and then we're going to get started on a very special live stream that we have going today. Let me know that you can hear me.
You sound great, man.
Just double checking with Tsilindr themselves to make sure I am heard. Am I heard?
Yeah, man, you sound great.
Okay, amazing. Right. Well, I will catch you in the stream.
Smash it, man.
Alright, I'll catch you in a bit. Today's a very special one, everyone. It's a huge one. It's huge. Yes. Today's a very big one. It is going to be a drum and bass fest. Well, to begin the night with, and then I have a very special announcement, which I didn't think I'd be announcing so early on, but it's looking good and everything's going very well. Let's double check. We've got 8 people in. Kazi with a thumbs up. I appreciate you. I appreciate the thumbs up. Logan, I appreciate that. Right, while everyone's hopping in, I'm going to show you what we're going to do today. So today, for those of you that have seen it, Welcome to Tsilindr came out pretty recently, and it's been a 3-year journey. And there were many different versions of Silky and Tsilindr's sides, and we just went crazy for 3 years. I am happy to say that today I'm bringing you the behind the scenes. You guys are going to be able to see the track, hear the track. I'm going to explain how, or why, should I say, I came up with every sound choice, how I came up with, the whole layout of the song, Tsilindr's influence, as well as my own personal influence, as well as other people's. This one's going to go crazy. So, Gary, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hello, peeps. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to allow this. We're going to allow the track to play up until the drop, and then once it hits the drop, we're going to focus on the intro to the song, and why we got there and how we got there. So sit back, relax, and yeah, this will be an audio test as well. So if there's anything wrong with the audio, please do let me know. And yeah, here we go. So the intro, the probably my favorite part of the entire journey was the intro, and every journey has to begin with an intro. So I guess to me that's why it was so important to get this bit perfect, because a drop is obviously the first thing you remember, but the intro is always the part of the song that climbs into your ears like almost instantly. So when we were sat down and we were talking about the original versions, it was sort of like how are we gonna make this into something that the minute something hits, such as it captures your ear, and it just sort of tells you like, okay, I have to listen to whatever's gonna come next. And there are many songs out there that do this. So we wanted to capture that moment, and we listened to hours and hours and hours and hours of all different genres of music. It wasn't just drum and bass. I think when we started, we had the idea of maybe a dubstep song, maybe a house song. And then we tried so many versions, but drum and bass sort of stuck to us because we were both so obsessed with the idea. Tasha, thanks for tuning in. Gary, I appreciate that. Predator, how's it going, bro? But yeah, so we wanted to captivate the idea, and we went through, I think last time I spoke to Tsilindr, we had easily about 15 to maybe 20 versions. And then I went away, did a lot of research, decided to take up a lot of time to sort of study how most songs are written, and we came up with something absolutely amazing. And obviously from the moment you hear the whole that's it, you're locked in. And you know, the hardest part about being a producer, especially with a specific type of genre, is you have to account for the hundreds of millions, if not at least a couple of billions, that have either never heard of the genre or they're just really not into the genre itself. And I believe we created that perfectly. And then obviously the obvious thing would be like how to structure it, because obviously John's speaking over the intro, so we couldn't go like crazy big on the intro. And you know, when we first started with previous versions, it'd be like producing live and then having John read out what his intro was at the time. And after developing an idea of space, which is obviously, if you've captured the last few streams, or you obviously know me personally for the music and stuff, you would know that space is like my all-time thing. So that's what brought us to this amazing intro. Keep in mind how much space there is. And then moving on to the drums here. With the drums, it took a very long time to sort of find the right drum kits. I never really felt comfortable with most of the sounds and presets as well as samples as I was using. But then what captures my eye is when you have a very full drum beat, but then in my head, in my point of view, is I would like to break up that space. I want to allow some sort of energy to sort of be dropped. So cutting out the hi-hats and the cymbals left you with, so it's just a basic one kick, snare, hi-hat, that's it. But getting rid of the extra hats and then the cymbals allows a space, which obviously brings you to the more boring part of the song, which is like obviously the build up, because the whole song sort of slows down, you know. And then we had to choose obviously some sort of build up that made you say, okay, the intro's made me stay, now I have to stay here for the drop, which is why we came up with this. Feel that bass like rumbling your chest? So again, like it, like obviously from you guys hearing it, like it, I appreciate the fire. I'm gonna stop a minute. I want to say hello to Mum. Mum, thanks for making the stream. I appreciate the support. Mr. 3, thank you so much for tuning in, bud. If you're at work, then I appreciate that even further. I'd also not be trying to do my job. Want to make sure I've not missed anything here. Yeah. So as I was saying, bass is like always going to be the fullest part of the track, because obviously bass can either take over your track, or it can be like, to make it easier, it can either be like super overwhelming or super underwhelming. So when we divide up the basses that we have, the original tracks we had were all about jump up drum and bass, you know, because when we originally started speaking about, well, when I got offered to write Welcome to Tsilindr's track, obviously John knew me for my love of drum and bass in general, and obviously when we spoke about it, it was all about jump up. But he suggested rollers, and I was pretty late to the rollers party because I was mainly just listening to jump up itself. So we knuckled down, and then I came back to him with more of a roller style, and that's pretty much how this whole project began, to be honest with you. Was just listening to a lot of rollers, as well as like jungle and jungle drum and bass. And so I'll show you the three basses and why I've put them together, because I think they all fit really perfectly. This one's spacious, allows you the time to listen, you know. And then we go for the drop, well, the build up, more space. Feel that energy. It's already building, you know. So in my head, the three were almost like they were talking to one another, and it was almost like you had three people, and you know, two of them are sort of having this debate, you know, because you go from one spacious bass, you know, they're trying to make a point, and then with the build-up bass, it's almost as if they're replying to that space by adding in just slightly more textures, but keeping the space open enough for you to actually enjoy the process, rather than obviously slightly taking your headphones off because it's too much to listen. And the atmosphere on the build-up is everything. Atmosphere is absolutely key to keeping the listener interested, which is the whole point of using space within your music. And then the drop bass itself, it's in your face, it's gritty, it's dirty, and it's almost like the third person saying, no, I've had enough of chilling out, it's time to, you know, have this energy burst. You play the track and I immediately forget what you said because I'm just loving it. Well, obviously I am going to let the track play out properly, so you guys can get a feel for the track, because obviously Tsilindr did an amazing job with mixing this all down and plugging it into such a short video. And obviously I do want to stop for a sec just to show my gratitude and how honoured I am that Tsilindr gave me the opportunity to do one of their biggest projects they'll ever do, because as the title suggests, it's welcome to Tsilindr. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the track play, and then we are going to discuss this last part here. So when we were originally making the song, I wasn't even thinking of Jump Up by the time I'd sent John the original copy for Welcome to Tsilindr, and he said no, there has to be some form of some form of jump up, which is this section here. And in fact, just to keep everyone grooving, I'm going to allow you to listen to the jump up part now. And obviously it was just such a beautiful ending to the song that it had to be included. So I'm gonna shut my mouth, which, if you know me, is a hard thing to do, eh? Leanne, I appreciate the fire. Everyone's just throwing out flames. I appreciate it. But yeah, and then I'm gonna sit back. I'm going to allow you guys to stand up and enjoy the track, and we will talk just as it reaches the jump up. because the jump up section, in my eyes, is as part of the song as the entirety, but this is more of a Silky thing, and we had to throw that in there. So enjoy the drum and bass. And that was 3 years. 3 years of a massive journey. And it wasn't easy. Bro, I just went out of my room for like a minute and I came back in and hear this, like, what? Yeah, I mean, that's the idea. And it's interesting as well because, as I said earlier, like a lot of people that aren't into drum and bass, they sort of hear it and then their whole perspective have changed, because a few people I've shown that don't listen to drum and bass, they're suddenly messaging me asking me for, a playlist of drum and bass that's already out there, which is like, it's the biggest sort of compliment you can get as a musician, but this journey and the things that are developed personally and then through the music has been amazing. One of the best things you've written. Yeah, I'll second that for sure. Because there were times where you just want to give up, and there are times where you just want to scream and you just want to just say, I quit, this is too much, I'm never going to sound as good as those that are already out there. But I think that's the same with anything. If you're trying to chase a career, or if you're trying to chase a hobby that you never thought you'd do, or if you're ever trying to learn a new instrument, or even learn a new game, like a video game, it's always going to be the same thing. You're always going to get to the point where you're going to say, like, I can't do this, this is too hard, I'm never going to be as good. And I think having the right support around you is the most important thing you could ask for. But it's been such an emotional ride, as I'm sure John will agree with. And we've always had each other's back, and I think that's what ultimately got us to where we ended up. So my advice is, when you hit that wall and you just want to give up, you just want to quit, let it happen. Don't fight that process. because the more you fight it, the more you're gonna lose to it. You know what I mean? I need this beat. You got me into drum and bass. Want to hear it? We could do that. I'll happily play the track again. This live is less about me writing a song, but it's more just you guys getting an idea of how I get to where I want to go. So if you wanna hear it again, that's absolutely fine. I'm more than happy to play it on repeat for the entire night. To be honest with you, I'm yet to write something that I believe hits the same mark. But no, you're more than welcome to hear it again for sure. I am gonna mute this last bit, as the last bit is for another journey, sort of like an Easter egg, if you will. That's why, that's why I wanted to put it in there. But no, you're more than welcome. You can absolutely listen to it again. Honestly, I could play the song for hours. For hours. Another thing to note is it wouldn't have, in my head, it wouldn't have mattered, you know, because if we'd have went dubstep, if we would have went house, the same targets would have been met. And obviously there's a little running joke between me and Tsilindr, and that's he loves dubstep and I hate it. So but this is the point, right? This track took 3 years to make, and it took 3 years to get to where it is, and the love and support you guys are showing already is is insane. And that's pretty much it for the Welcome to Tsilindr track. It will be released at some point as just the track. No dates just yet. Keep you on the edge of your seat, just like a build-up would. But for those that obviously are asking for it to be a download and asking for the track itself, do not panic. It is coming. That's for sure. And that's really the story. I mean, it's summed up pretty nicely. I mean, because talking about 3 years is pretty crazy. Crazy got me vibing too hard. Yeah, I mean that's the idea of it. And if you haven't seen Welcome to Tsilindr, definitely do go check it out on Tsilindr's page, which is what we are live from right now. Because the work that John put in himself was insane, like insanely good. Obviously, not many people got to watch the 3-year journey as close as others, but the work he put in was just an automatic inspiration to be like, do you know what? Things happen. Life is life. We can do this. And yeah, Welcome to Tsilindr was finally born, finally released. And I just want to take the time out to say I couldn't be more proud of him, and I couldn't be more proud of myself. There was an idea that I had where originally, when listening to the drop itself, in one of the original versions, one of the earlier versions, we actually had a halftime segment, which originally I was going to put into this version, but in the end decided not to because the pace was too loving, and it was too warm to the ears, and it seemed like a slowdown would be crazy. So instead of adding some sort of halftime section, we hit it with just a little bit of space. That space, you know? The space in between is just beautiful because it allows your ears to rest for a moment. When reviewing a lot of other songs, they're actually quite shorter tracks. Jump Up, you don't really get like, I mean, there are out there that are like 4 to 7 minutes, but you know, when you listen to earlier drum and bass, there was never much space going on. It was always just one intro, one build up, one drop, and that was it. And I just can't do that. So instead of adding a halftime, it had to be space, because the minute you get to a space and then you get dropped straight back into the song, your ears are refreshed. So, you know, you could repeat that same technique for hours and hours and hours. But we got there, and that was the idea. And then the more jump up side of things is to come. Silky's pretty wild with Jump Up. I'll listen to Jump Up in any scenario, in any situation. But all in all, that is the showreel. And yeah, I'm going to play it one last time before I move on to show you guys another project that, as I said at the beginning of the live, in case you missed it, it was not supposed to be ready yet, but after putting in the work and just saying to myself, you know, the idea is there, we can do it, it's here now, it's ready. So that is another project which I am going to be showing you today. So I'm going to allow the song to play one more time, and we're going to move into the next part of the live. And obviously any questions you have about Welcome to Tsilindr's track, feel free to throw it into the comment section, because I will definitely see it. But no, one last time, just for you all. I almost get like a different vision in my head every time I listen to the song. You know, because just hearing, you know, just the intro alone, the lead, it makes you feel like, you know, like I always get this like vision where like you're standing at the top of a cliff on like a snowboard, you know, and you're just ready to pelt it down the hill. You know what I mean? Like, it just gets your blood pumping, and then obviously you add in like the little whoa. Let the intrinsic thoughts through. Let them through. You know, and now you're about to bomb it. You're like dodging trees and stuff. Going crazy. And now you see like a big hill just going into the sky. You don't know where it's gonna go, but you're gonna take it anyway. And the minute the song drops, you are off that hill, you are off. You know, like the minute that drop hits, you've landed perfectly on your feet after doing like 700 flips in the air. And if a song can get you to visualize something random but you love it in your head, it's a good piece of music. It's like the same as like, you know, if something happens and most people turn to music, you're obviously like, you know, if you're sad, you're going to turn to emotional music. If that piece of music can make you cry in the moment, it's an amazing piece of music. And it's just the same. I think drum and bass is just like this massive adrenaline, you know, and it just makes you want to like run for miles and miles and miles. Obviously, if you know me, you know I'm not going to be running for miles and miles, but you get the picture. I just think it's very important that you never ever allow something to stop what it is you love, you know? And not everyone's going to love what you do, but that's not the point, right? You do something because you love to do it, not because it impresses someone else, you know, or someone else is happier with the idea that you do what they want. You should never ever allow yourself to get to that point. Crazy got me vibing. Amazing, you're welcome, son. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, mum, come on. Look, mum, I made it. I'm on YouTube. This is hard. Yeah, I appreciate that, Tash. I appreciate that. Well done, proud of you. That means a lot from you, my darling. That does mean a lot. Going back to that, yeah, whatever it is, like, it doesn't even have to be something in the creative arts, and it doesn't have to be something where, like, you know, you're showing off an IQ. Like, anything you want to do, just go and do it. Like, it doesn't matter. And the only consequences of you doing it is well, there isn't really one, really, unless you obviously choose to do something crazy like skydive. Because, yeah, consequence. But you get what I'm saying. Like, don't ever allow someone to be like, it's never going to work. You're never going to be able to hit your peak, you know? Because if you can find something that you want to build as a career, and you can start off as a hobby, and allow that hobby to take over, and genuinely, like, if you have fun whilst doing it, whether that's on your own or with other people, that's it. That's all you need, is the enjoyment. And obviously, I'm not saying the enjoyment's always going to be there. As a producer, I burn out a lot. But obviously, that really depends on how much work you're putting in, and how often you're looking to obviously do it. I can't tell you how many times that just this showreel itself, just this one song in the last 3 years, I have burned out so many times. But yeah, I mean, I guess I need to make more drum and bass, considering the feedback I'm getting from everyone. Got me smashing X on my controller in beat with us. Yeah, and the funny part is he's not even playing the game. On to the second part, which is going to be the last part of the live. Apologies for running late on today's live. But the second part is once Welcome to Tsilindr was in a great place, and you know, I was happy with the track and John was happy with the track, and then he was doing all the final edits to make such a masterpiece, which again, just after this live, head over to Tsilindr's main channel and it will be there. I lost train of thought reading comments. Hang on. Mega, yeah, I appreciate that. It was indeed mega, yeah. I love that word, mega. I've completely lost train of thought. This happens a lot. We'll come back to it. Yeah, no, that was it. After all the editing was done, I was sort of speaking to John about, you know, imagine you could just have one video, one core place that you went to where you just had an hour or two of just being able to listen to one massive mix or a playlist. And then John came up with the idea of, you know, well, why can't you? So we came up with Silky Radio. Massive shout outs for the inspiration for this, by the way. And I think that's also important, having someone like John in your life who can just see the good in every idea, and he'll just be honest. If you can have someone like that in your life, amazing. That's all you need. So we came up with the idea, and then I wasn't going to act on it for a little while, but then I got a rush of music in my head, and I was like, okay, I can finally do it now. So as it stands, the first Silky Radio is 5 tracks in sort of in the mix right now. I'm not going to play, every song completely, but I am going to give you an idea of Silky Radio. So yeah, essentially it's just going to be one massive mega mix or playlist, however you would like to put it, and it's just going to be music for you to do everything with, like, whether you're cleaning your house, whether you're going for a jog, whether you pop into the shops or you're going to work, this will be at hand. So this one is one of the more chilled playlists. The idea would be that I develop a playlist for each mood and each sort of genre that I'm mainly into, obviously. So there is a drum and bass one coming, and one's going to form of the more jump up side of things, and one is going to focus more on the liquid D&B side of things. So I'm literally just going to play a verse, maybe, of each track, and then we'll go from there. We'll see where the live takes us. But yeah, this would be track number 1. And obviously, I wanted to showcase this at the end of today's live, just to chill your Sunday out. You know, we've had a bit of drum and bass, which by the looks of things is gonna stick in people's ears for a while. And obviously, once again, if you do want to listen to the song in full whenever you wish, do go check out Welcome to Tsilindr, which is on Tsilindr's page. And yeah, I just wanted to end your Sunday evening with me on a nice calm one, to relax yourself, get ready for the new week. Yeah, and that was track number 1. They don't specifically have names, the songs themselves, but at some point I'm sure I will probably start releasing them as singles, as well as just always being in some sort of mix. And then the song will develop and slowly change. And then obviously it just takes you straight back into it. This is also the only thing that is missing is a female vocalist. Wink, wink, wink. Do you know what? It's quite funny actually, because I've been working with another artist actually who's actually in the live today, and that is Mr. Gary McPhail, and he said the same thing. He said a lot of my tracks would sound really nice with some sort of female vocalist over them. And I couldn't agree more. And if you would like to take one of these tracks and you would like me to send you them as just the song itself, I'm more than happy to do that. Which would be amazing actually. It'd be great for another collab, as always. Even if it's just for a little jam. But the second track in this is probably my favorite out of them. I wrote the drums really carefully. I wanted to keep that bounce, because you know you go from this really emotional feeling, but then we're keeping that emotion. But then I said, look, I got to throw on some Silky style bounce, which is where I came up with these drums. Just catches you in your feels, right? And then it just sort of develops more and more as obviously the mix goes on. Now initially I wanted the playlist to sort of take you on like an adventure, like a journey. Predator says I'll do it. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be my vocalist, I'm not gonna say no. That's gonna be pretty cool. And yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you have my actual phone number, so yeah, just feel free to message me on there, or you can DM me on Instagram. And yeah, I'm more than happy to do that, because that would be actually quite dope to do. But yeah, going back to Pred, yeah, you're more than welcome to be my vocalist, man. That'd be dope. But yeah, as I was saying before, sorry. Yeah, I wanted to take people on a journey, but obviously, as a musician, I don't know, like, a journey's always different to me, you know? It's always one of them things where, like, you know, those times in, like, someone would say, like, yeah, I feel like this because I listen to this, and then, like, 2 others would agree with them. I was always the guy that said, no, it actually makes me feel like this. So, the journey I want to take you on isn't necessarily going to be the journey you're going to be taken on, if that makes any sense. I don't usually. But yeah, moving on to the third track, I wanted to keep that same feel, you know, but slowly bring an energy up, you know, so you go from like this really down energy to slightly more up. And this was just perfect. The minute I heard it, it had to be used. Had to be used. This track actually was inspired by summer, I'm gonna be honest. See, when I came to around this track, I want to double check got my numbers right. Yeah, when I came around to the third track, night driving is what came to mind. More specifically, night driving in the summer. You know, it's quite dark, but the weather's still warm, and you know, you're just driving down like this gorgeous country lane, and you've got like this really chilled. Yeah, you got like this really chilled sort of more trappy sort of vibe. You know, and then yeah, and then moving on a bit more, again you get to the ending, and then the idea is that it just sort of develops, you know, and it keeps you in your same feels, but there's not enough going on that you have to have your ears at all times, you know. Bro, you got a lot of lag. That is not good. really enjoyed this track as well. It was so different in comparison to the previous songs within this mix itself. Amazing. Yeah, I do apologize for the slight lag. As long as the audio's fine, we're all good. But yeah, going back to it. As we're coming to the end of the live, anyway. Yeah, I really wanted to separate the mix because obviously going back, excuse me, going back to my original. Oh yeah, I've actually just been informed. If it is lagging, try to just what was it? Lower the quality of the video. That sometimes does fix it pretty swiftly. But yeah, I wanted to, going back to how I normally produce. I wanted some sort of space, some sort of gap. So I decided to, bring that with this sort of energy. And then this develops into the last track so far. Bit more upbeat, bit more out there. So yeah, that is what Silkfire Radio is going to be. It's just going to be, a page where you can go to, and there will just be hours upon hours of just music made by me, essentially, and it is literally for you to do whatever you wish to do with. It's for easy listening. As I said, it's for when you even do something like the shopping. If you are just tired after a long day at work, stick this on in the background and spend the night how you want to spend it. That is the idea of Silkfire Radio. On top of that, obviously, way later down the line, bigger projects are going to come to Silkfire Radio, which I will be keeping under the hat for a while. 480p lags way less. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's it just happens, just a bit of lag. I apologise if that's been really bad throughout the whole stream. But yeah, that's the idea. Now that Welcome to Tsilindr is finally done, we can now rest, which is automatically stopped because obviously Silkfire Radio is going on, and I'm sure Tsilindr's got a another huge journey ahead, which I'm really excited to see. So yeah, in terms of that's already out. It's not out as a song yet, but the video is absolutely outstanding. I do recommend going to watch it. However, I'm going to end the stream here. It's been amazing. Thank you to everyone that's been commenting. Thank you for hopping in and just joining the stream, having a nice little chat. I've enjoyed myself. Judging by the comments, I can tell you've definitely enjoyed yourselves. And my Instagram is down below. So for those of you that don't have my number. Feel free to DM me with any questions. And yeah, we could definitely talk about that collab for sure, because I think that'd be insane. But yeah, I appreciate all of that. Due to it lagging, I will give it a sec just to allow everyone to catch up.